guys, welcome back. Bought this ugly piece of shit. There's a reason behind it. It's basically going to be the donor for the road legal buggy project I've got. Me and my dad, we bought a 06 reg road legal buggy. Had like some shit Chinese 250cc rev and everything in it. And we took our time and we were looking for the correct model of bike that would be the best setup for what we wanted. And we wanted, as much as everybody goes, yeah, put a booster in it, put a a fireblade engine in it, put this in it. The true fact is that you're going to have to upgrade parts of the chassis, the brakes, the tyres. You're not going to go do 150 mile an hour in it because the wheels will just explode. Like, the tyres aren't speed rated for that. There's so many different variables, and you put your sensible head on and you can still have a good time, and you can still be madman, but it's just got to be a bit more sensible. So I was looking at 4 cylinders and a few bits and pieces, and everything was coming up like bandits are cheap, 600 bandits, 1200 bandits, but they're air cooled, oil cooled. There isn't a lot of airflow at the back, so I need a water cooled motor. So thinking, okay, so we need to look for a water cooled motor. So we're looking at water cooled stuff, and I was like, the cradle that the engine sits in isn't that wide, and you can make anything fit anything. You can take the time to do all the fab work you want. You can make stuff fit, but I wanted to make this as as less painless as possible. I want to get it done quick. I don't want to be sitting on this project for the next year, waiting for bits to figuring out problem solving as the whole way through. I want to pretty much get it in and get it working. So the 500 Ninja GPX, the GPZ was the best option, and I'll tell you why. Parallel twin, water cooled. I think they make a region of about 70 horsepower, 122 mile an hour or 125 mile an hour book speed. So this is going to be right in the ballpark figure. I mean, it's triple the power it has, but it's going to be robust. This is sort of like the commuter war horse. They were used in London back in like the 90s all the way thing. And this bike goes from about I think it's like 86 or 85 all the way to like 2006. So the parts, they're everywhere and they're cheap. A full service kit for this, 2 plugs, air filter and an oil filter, £24. So I mean that's like like $10–15. That's just like ridiculously cheap. So overall maintenance, if we put this in it and we abuse it, and I mean really abuse it, worst case scenario is we buy a salvage engine for 150 quid. It's not like if I went and got I did get an offer of a 2012 CBR 600, so it's fuel injected, all ready to go and everything else. And if I'd have dropped that in, great, it'd have been the bollocks. But would I have drove it into water? Would I have been redlining it on sand? I probably would have been a bit more gingery with it. Where this, I just have the carefree abandonment of abusing it. I'm going to put a brand new clutch kit in it and everything else. So with the parallel twin, it was a lot narrower, and I'll show you with the cradle. Let me just grab that. So if I can get this in shot. Dickhead. Right. This is the cradle. So the cradle is this wide, and I think it's about 18 inches wide, or about like under 20. I think it's 18 or 19 inches. The little parallel twin will go beautiful in this cradle. And front mounts, backwards and forwards. Where I was looking at other stuff with back dealt. Let's move it out the fucking way. Stuff with delta box frames. The engine mountings are taken from the top and half at the top of the block and half at the bottom. Where this, it was mounted in front and back. So I didn't really have to worry about how the engine would get mounted. I didn't have to make another up and over thing. It was literally just dropping that cradle and ready to go. Me and my dad, we bidded on another bike. I'll probably show you a list of that. I bidded on another bike for up to 500 quid, which was an ER5, which is basically the same bike but without a fairing. Well, this one ain't got a fucking fairing on it anyway. And we bidded on that, and we didn't win it. So then, I don't know, I was strolling through Facebook Marketplace, and this came up, and it said 300 quid, and that was it. It was just a picture of this fucking horrible mess. I said, does it run? He goes, yeah. It was 250, and he went, yes. And then I was going, and then we were buying this ugly fucking bike. He said it runs, but it needed a battery. When I got there, it had a battery in it, so I was like, okay. he says it's just missing the clocks and headlight and the front fairing, but it ran. Okay, so when I got there, he goes, he's got spare coils, so 2 spare coils, a spare CDI pack, and someone's been in the stator cover. So it runs, or most likely he tried to get it running, or at least it ran roughly and it never ran. So I just went, I was already there, 250 quid, we're buying it. A couple of good things about it is, brand new chain and sprocket, we can use those. So, because the Buggy, you know, I mean, I was going to buy a new chain anyway, but it's brand new chain sprocket. When I mean brand new tyres, I mean brand new tyres on it. It's got the sticky label still on top of the tyres. So, I think if he spent some money on it, oh, and it's got brand new disc and pads, both front and back, so I'd probably utilise them into the axle on the rear of the Buggy. So I'm thinking if he spent that much money on, you know, the tyres are going to be a couple hundred quid, you know, 120 quid or maybe 80 quid a corner. So if he spent some money on it, you'd think it must have worked. So I took it on good faith that it worked. We pulled it back the other night, I won't lie to you, we tried to get it fired up and it was just coughing and splitting and backfiring, and it had spark and I left it. So now, today's goal is to get this thing running. I want it running in this frame before I take it out. I don't want to upset it if it move into another chassis and then find out, you know, I've lost spark or something else. So I want to get it running. If it just runs for 10 minutes in here, I mean, there's coolant and there's oil in it, that's a good sign. So I'm just going to try and get it fired up, make sure it goes through all the gears, the gear transmission's fine, and then as soon as I know that is fine, it's literally getting ripped out of this today, and then we can throw it. Anybody interested in a GPZ with a logbook as a roller, you can have 100 quid, I don't even fucking think. I have no remorse on tearing this horrible piece of shit motorbike to pieces. Not like like I say, when we were shopping for bikes, I was looking at other things. I fancied an SV650. I thought, ooh, a V twin, that sounds good. But when I looked at them, the heads, one of the heads would be, they're air cooled. Oh, are they air cooled? I think they're water cooled. Wherever it was, yeah, I think they're air cooled. Wherever it was, the cylinder head wouldn't get a lot of airflow across it, or it would mount straight into the back of the rear seat. And I was like, do you know what? I don't need that headache. We'll stick with this. So, right. I'm waffling in these intros again. I bet it's like a 20 fucking minute intro. I'll put you on the chest mat and we're going to start stripping all the shit off this bike. Alright, so it's just loosely all put together. The guys obviously had some, to be honest, I think the guys knew enough but were dangerous enough to be fucking around with it. And when I bought it in, yeah, fucking hear me moving it now. When I brought it into the workshop, I noticed straight away that the sliders for the carb, because they're vacuum operated sliders on these, were seized shut. So when I done a history check on it, it'd been sat since 2012, or it'd been off the road since 2012. So when he said it ran, it could have been God knows how many years until it actually had last ran. So the tank smells awful, so we're just going to pull that whole tank off and everything and use a like a syringe or a bottle of some sort to get in there. So yeah, as you can see, the Buggy's laid up on the dyno, which we're in the process of sorting all this shit out. I've got the ATC, which I keep meaning, I've ordered the bits, they're all in the box, but every time I go work on it, I think to myself, the second I finish it, I'm probably going to sell it, and then I'll be sad. So it's in a point of limbo forever. And I keep thinking, where the hell am I going to ride it? Because half the places won't even let us loose on that. So Dad's building a sidecar for his fucking cafe for some reason. You know, he's a man of leisure now, he's retired, he can do what he likes, but he's had this mad reason, he's had this mad idea that he's going to, he started building a sidecar for his little cafe monkey. There's the ATC, obviously. We've got the Italjet. The Dad's putting another replacement caliper on the front. The front caliper was no good, it kept leaking. Just too much pitting on the pistons, I reckon, so we've got a salvage a salvage caliper for that, which we're doing now. That's going up for MOT this week, and that will be up for sale. So if anyone's interested in the Italjet, there's a video of this on the channel. You can go back and look through if you're new to the channel, and if you are new, you know, subscribe. But that's got a fully rebuilt engine, new seals, new piston, new rings. It's bored up to a 70. Runs an absolute treat, that does. but that was one to spin off. Well, for us, we bought that in a job. A lot of other bikes, we didn't really want it. What else we got going on? Well, I'm waffling again. Jigsa's done. Jigsa's beautiful. So the GSX-R50 that needs to go for MOT. The next one, I think, after we've got the buggy out of the way, will be the Aerial 3. I want to use that for a few car shows like the Auto Jumbles and stuff, and blast about on it and picking up stuff. And then Dad's got his other monkey, which is called Johnny for some reason. That's MOT'd now, and I think he's selling that one. So that's got a 70 in it, nothing special. Got a lot of OO racing goodies on it, exhaust and shocks and stuff. He was going to use it just as a daily rider for like the bike meets and stuff, but I don't know what he's doing now. So, right, let's tear this GPZ to bits. Yeah, so like I was saying, there's been a lot going on off camera. In the new year, I changed careers. Still a mechanic and MOT tester, but I'm doing my own thing now. And with that, when we came round to Christmas at the end of the year, I had a lot going on with that. All the bits. Had a lot going on with that, so I didn't post much on online. I didn't post much on YouTube. I was just too busy. And we had Christmas, and at Christmas, Kelsey, my daughter, we took the engine that was in the Gixxer, the 120 that was in the Gixxer. I built into I bought a rolling supermoto, and we put all brand new plastics on it, and she had that for Christmas. If I've got a picture of it, I'll post that for you, and you know, a quick look. So me and Kelsey, I've got the KX60 supermoto, so me and my daughter can get there going. There's also another addition into the unplugged automotive stable. We've got a Mark III Transit, which is absolutely immaculate. Well, I say immaculate, it's clean for a 1990 Transit. And it's decked on some banded steels and that, and I'm hoping to put the where the fuck am I putting all this shit? I'm hoping to put a Volvo engine in it that I had in my old drift car eventually, but at the minute it's got a 2-litre Pinto in it, the branch manifold. This is all the shit we got with the bike. He already gave us a set of coils, so that just alarm bells. Then another CDI unit, which rings alarm bells. But it has got all brand new pads and discs and 2 new tyres. So, I mean, if you're going to spend money on it, when it don't run, you just need your head looking at, don't you? So, I'm assuming it must have run. But we'll get the tank off and we'll give it a couple of cranks and see what it does. Like I say, I won't lie to you, we did check for spark when we got it back, because just out of curiosity, and I didn't have any filming equipment with me, so I think I took a couple of pictures of us putting it in the car. We took my little Fiat Cubo to Cambridge to get it. That's all off anyway. Went to Cambridge to go get it, and I'm just going to dump this in here. Yeah, and I didn't have any use of the other van because it's off the road, because I've had the wheels powder coated and 4 new tyres, so I didn't have my Transit. So we were in my little Fiat people carrier. We got there and the guy was like, "Where are you in?" I'm in the car. And then we just started taking it apart and apart until we got it in. So literally all we did was just slobbed it in, pulled the tank seat bearing off that you see now, and pulled the front fork legs clean out and just chucked in the back of my van. I'll throw you a picture and you can have a look. We had a right laugh. So yeah, I've already had all this. I've already had most of this airbox and assembly out, and that was because I was trying to see what I think. I think, to be honest, the carbs are going to need going through 100%, but I just want to get it in and running in the chassis before I. You don't want to pull it out and not know. If I knew it, he said I bought it as a runner, but you know these people. So. Right, when we had it cranking last night, these floats were seized solid. Like, I mean, I had to like really pull them up, so I'm just going to drop some just to help things along. And there should be fuel in the bowl. See, they've had so much of the shit out of it. That he said it had no battery on it, and that's why it didn't run. But that's clearly a new battery. So I think he's telling porkies to me. we got fuel in, some sort of pipe for the vacuum, and then these two have been pinned off. So I'm assuming these go to a T-piece because they're vacuum operated, so as you rev it, pulls the slides up. I doubt with obviously these calves, but they're not really the thing I really mess about with a lot on monkey bikes. I've stripped all these down, redone them. They're just diaphragms on the top with like a needle. And that's how it works. So I've got a car battery on charge. Let's see if we can coax some life out of it. And then I think after that we're probably going to be looking at pulling the carbs off. He's put some aftermarket catch tank, water tank on here. The rad, the coolant in it's nice. It's nice and greeny coloured. So that's a good start. But it would have had a nice set of clocks that would have gone perfect on the front, the dash of the buggy. But they've removed them, and this is exactly as we got it. We got no headlight, no indicators, no clocks. So right, see if we can get it fired up. No. Hilarious. Right.
Seen this on a video that going on.
Yeah, I know. Just trying to get it in shot.
You put that other one on charge?
Yeah, just watch them
You
over.
put the reader on that one as well?
No? Why would I?
On the big one? No?
No. Why?
What are you looking for?
Oh, just screwed on with a wire this into here.
Oh. Just to put it underneath it?
Yeah, put it underneath that. You alright?
Yeah. Elsie's just had some free cake.
Yeah, that was crap.
It was actually really nice. Lemon cake.
Lemon cake, lemon drizzle cake.
You wouldn't know it was gluten free, would you?
Well, no, I didn't think the onion rings yesterday were gluten free either.
They were fucking great, they were.
That's because they weren't fucking gluten free.
Did I care?
Oh, fucking arsehole probably did.
Yeah, you're right. Wasn't a pretty sight this morning.
Do you think I care?
Yeah, fucking banging now.
I know, very rare I end up.
It's like being...
This cup's a bit freaking jazzy. Too much coffee in there. We've got battery hooked up. Give it a turn. Choke on. There should be some fuel left in the bar. We syringed some in, so. Oh! Maybe take the choke off a little bit. Doesn't sound too good. Choke all the way off. Got any carb cleaner? Yeah. Okay, it's not liking that. Let's So it's got spark, it's got fuel, but it just doesn't want to come to life. I think we're going to pull them carbs off. We'll just bench the carbs. Let's just have a look see in the bowls, because it could be an absolute disaster in there, just not letting anything through. Yeah, let's pull the carbs off and bench the carbs.
Oh, there isn't a mirror box yet.
I don't have to go in with levers. So if it depends on what it is and where it's connected to. So if it's connected to the handlebars, then levers, mirrors, that sort of stuff can all go in the same area.
Okay, so we've got water. Oh. There's petrol. 2 water pipes here. Fuck. Yeah, pliers. Thank you. Fuck off, I need to put these pliers. Pull those pliers. There they are. Give me a bolt out of there, Council, quick. Out of that one. 2 little short little M6s. Yeah, that's fine.
So that circuit is broken, it?
Yeah.
What's that doing now?
Because it's locked at the back. It's locked at the back. Coolant fed. You were? Mm. I mean, that screwdriver just dropped. Fuck off. It's fucking back breaking down here.
That's it, even the front box.
What? Yeah. Oh. Getting there with a second screwdriver.
Maybe for a minute.
You don't want to do that.
Not today.
Fuck off.
Anyway. Give us that rag.
What is that?
Yeah. See what kind of disaster these cabs are in. Hear them clicking. And the floats are not seized. What's with this stupid water cooler and shit? Okay. I think we've got all the fuel out. Yep. Still some in there. That's what decent Phillips.
Brake cleaner on.
It's basically the same stuff anyway. Fucking shit screwdrivers. Yeah, that's probably better. All that one. Yeah.
Is there supposed to be a needle hole through that one?
Move the hole through both, yeah.
Yeah, that one's clear.
That one's not. Blow compressed air through it.
I can't, so I need to turn the compressor on the mule ticket.
There's air in it. I've disconnected it at the line. So it stopped hissing when I was filming. Huh? Price will work, yeah. Oh. Surprisingly clean.
What are you doing?
No, me.
There, on the
What's there?
still clean over there.
Oh.
That's clear now.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, there was some big fucking hump of shit stuck in that.
That's what I told you it would be.
Yeah. Wow.
Told you that's what it would be. Just a block master cylinder. I wouldn't bleed up properly. That's what I want. that's clear. Not completely blocked, but okay, so we've got that whole car body stripped, all the jets out and the float, and it didn't actually look that dirty, to be honest. Only a bit of funk in the bottom of the bowl, but should have run on that. Let's turn it over now, pull the sliders out. Screw that, screw that. And there should be a diaphragm sitting on the top here. I'm going to do one body at a time so we ain't got a million bits in the top. Oh, fuck off. No. There'll be a needle and a diaphragm in the top of here. Hopefully the diaphragm's not split. Be a prick. I fucking looked over to you, see what you were fucking whinging about, and the fucking spring in the seat come flying out of this. I've dropped one little screw on the floor now. Okay. Oh, I've got a nail down. Okay, so where did this one come from?
Oh,
Where's that one's going? And then, what's that, a broken cable? It's alright, we can sort that out after. Yeah, well, cables are shit. I'll have a turn one. Don't matter for now, we can sort that later. Right, so let's push these bad boys back in.
that's working now. Feels hard as a kite after all that brake cleaner. Yeah.
Pissing out water. Had to be pretty quick then. PDQ. Okay. Still going for that syringe method.
Yeah.
It won't work.
It's
Huh?
working.
Yeah?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I've got a flow, you know?
Yeah?
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. Flow.
There's a fluid going from one end to the other.
Yeah, I know what flow is. Saying.
coals up.
There's a lot of sprag clutch in the starter motor. It's fucking shit. Alright, let's have none of it. So, maybe 10 minutes, let me have a think and a regroup. I think it's going to be something vacuum operated, or I'll have to start checking timing and stuff, I reckon. So, alright, let's get further involved in it. Right, so we had a sit and we had a think, and then we kept getting like these big huge backfires out of it, and I was trying to think where someone else had been messing with it, what could be wrong. So it's either the timing was out, low compression, but then when I put my hands on the back of the car I was getting loads of suction, so I don't think it's a stuck valve or anything like that. Where someone else has been messing with it, I assumed what's the possibility, because it kept backfiring and it was only like crank, and then you just get a massive backfire. I thought, what possibility is this guy's probably wired the coils up wrong, swapped the wiring over, and then obviously then he's had no end of issues trying to trace what was wrong with it. So what I did was I swapped the wiring around on the coils. Don't know if it's going to work, but let's give it a shot anyway, and hopefully that's it. Something simple as
That's why we think the stator cover was off.
Yeah, he's had the stator cover off, and that's been it's dripping oil now because the guy's fucked the gasket. So he's obviously been trying to solve an issue, but we just kept getting backfire. I was like, it sounded like the timing was out, or like, the firing order. And because this is obviously a parallel twin, well, it's a parallel twin, but they're offset like that. And I think probably what he's done is when he's changed the coils, he's probably just mixed up the wiring. So if it might be worse, it might be better. We'll just try it. So probably choke on. Fucking nothing now. Start motor sounds fucking haggard now. It's not that then. Hang on, let me just spray some carb cleaner down each one of the throats of it. And just to see if it does do at least even backfires. Pretty much what it's doing when the coils are around the other way, so just unbolt that out again. We'll swap the carb back around the other way, the coils around the other way the way they were. Water's alright. Yeah, Brad. say run for 5 minutes. I don't know how much oil's in it, so. Right, I finally got to the end of it. What we were doing is we kept thinking it was carburetor, it was fueling and everything else, and what turned out to be was an electrical problem with it. It must have been losing the ignition feed on start up, and then what it was doing was banging loads of fuel in, and then when eventually it did get like, well, it was getting spark, or it eventually turned on the rest of the ECU for the CDI. It was just backfiring. So I checked all the timing, did all that, kept thinking I was scratching my head, and then eventually it fired on the button every time. And I think I tracked it down to a bad wire in the back of the ignition, in the box in the back of the ignition. Because now, after messing with that, every time, first flick every time. So I'm probably going to put another ignition barrel in anyway, because you can't put that in the buggy because you're driving along and the key falls out on. So, but every time now. So I pulled the fuse box apart, and it looked like there was, it looked like it had previously had water ingest. So I cleaned all the board. It's got like a little PCB board in there. Cleaned that. Double checked all the wiring everywhere else, and I think it was just a case of process of elimination. I must have just finally found the bad connector, and now it runs every time. So I'm happy with it. Now all I'm going to do now is just quickly run it through the gearbox, and then I'm going to strip it. The wiring will get all go through again once it goes in the buggy, just so it's 100% reliable. So every time we fire up, it fires up first time. So I think the issue with this bike was it had like a bit of wiring gremlin, and what the guy's done is he's just thrown parts at it and not really fucking looked at it. So he's put coils on it, he's put a CDI on it, he's been messing around here with the solenoid and God knows what else. And he did tell me it was a runner, but I think he thought he had me over, or you know they'd spent some money on it, had tyres, disc and pads, and you know a chain and sprocket, and then they just keep having issues with it. So I think he thought, you know, we at 250 quid he'd had us over because it was fucked. But to be fair, mate, every time now. So glad to get the end of that. So I'm just gonna quickly run it through the box, and then I'm gonna get this into a whole load of box full of parts ready to start mocking up and everything for the buggy.
We're happy, aren't we?
Yeah, well, that's what I said. We even if it didn't run at 250 quid, we were happy to, you know, we got the exhaust, we got the chain, we had a spare set of carbs, all the rest of the wiring. So even if it was come down to the thing that the engine was scrap and that we needed to get a salvage engine, we were willing to do that. But no, I think we've just, you know, we've become quite lucky on it, to be honest. This is going to make a nice shifter. We can make a nice gear shifter out of that, like. So there's loads of bits that are usable on it. But no, I'm happy. I'm probably still going to get another set of carbs because one of them's got a crack in. But no, we're happy with that. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. no back brakes. That's it. Let's rip it out. Right, there's not much left of that GPZ, so I'm just going to get this flogged as a roller. Somebody needs a a frame of the logbook. It's got 2 brand new Pilot Sports on it, and it's got a set of brand new discs on it. The calipers and everything else I've kept for the Buggy project. So yeah, so that's the motor ripped out of that, and here it is in mock-up in the Buggy, and now you can envision why I went for the twin-cylinder GPZ motor, is because one, it just fits perfectly in this size cradle. Now all I've got to do is make up the mounts. I might have to modify this top bar and then make my own brace across or whatever it is, but it's a far lot easier to get this in than to get like another 4-cylinder in. And say, like I said, power wise, it's still, this was a 122 mile an hour motorbike, and when you drop it in something like this, the brakes are going to be more adequate for it, so are the tyres, and longevity. I can go out and abuse this and have the carefree abandonment that if it blows up, it's only a couple £100 to get another engine for it. So right now, me and the old man are going to start getting to the start where we start fabbing everything up. We're going to make an up and over roll cage. We're not going to have this a convertible. I'd rather have a full up and over roll cage just for safety and help add some more rigidity into the chassis as well. I've got to order some rear shocks. My dad, these are the original seats. My dad just put some flexible vinyl paint on them and glued on some new cushions. They'll do for now. I'm going to try and get some of these plastic inserts out of. They're the same ones you get like in gaming chairs. So I need to get some of those little plastic inserts for those. We're going to get some different lights because it had some Wally like noddy looking lights on it. I'm going to put some like Raptor style lights inside here. And then we're going to get it painted and build it all up. As I say, it's going to be quite a good project when it's done. Like I said, I'm going to try and keep you updated on it as much as possible, but a lot of it gets done, when I'm out at work and stuff. So I'll give my dad a project. He's retired now, so I come down like project manager and go do this, and then I come back and it's done wrong, and then I have to do it again anyway. But he's done well today. He's sorted all the brakes out on the Italjet, so that's going off for MOT, and then that one's going to be up for sale in the next week. I've got to wait for a logbook for the GPZ. I probably could list it, but I've only got the green slip, so I can't really sell it to anybody until I get the full logbook, which is pointless because I've only owned the thing a day. This is what happens if you give me something for a day. But I was happy that we got it running in the end, and I was happy that it was a solid motor. Like I say, I'll probably get all the service bits, a brand new clutch for this motor, and that's about it really. I don't think there's anything else I need to cover for you guys. I'm at a stage now where, I'm just going to mock up a few things and it's all the fab work and this is done. Hit the subscribe button on my channel and you'll be able to keep up to date with everything we're doing on the Road Legal Buggy project. Hopefully we can get it busted out in the next couple of months, but I've got a normal job like everybody else, and I ain't no YouTube star, so this is all funded out of my own back pocket, so you'll have to wait a couple of weeks for something and another week for something else, but that's just real life, unfortunately. I really appreciate the people that do subscribe to the channel, and I wouldn't post content unless you guys, liked it and everything else and followed the channel as much as you do. I really appreciate that. And if it is your first time here, I'd really appreciate if you would consider subscribing to the channel. It really gives me a boost and gives me a kick to come down here and film this, because you know what it's like in real life. You just want to get on and get shit done, and filming it is a ball ache, and you always got someone talking in the background and you can't hear it and the sound quality shit and all that, and it's just deadly. So as always guys, I appreciate that, and ciao for now.
Yeah, it runs really well, mate, that does. Fucking cracking little bike. Yes, mate, the postcode's P1550FF.